My name is Yvonne Alexander, and I'm doing a reflection for my CAS project, which is restoring the school greenhouse and building a garden in what I understand is called Peace Gardens of Fort Myers High School. This idea came up in class while I was aiding for Mr. Trubkowski, and I thought that it sounded like a really good idea, so I pursued it, and I asked Mr. Strupkowski if he would actually be willing to restore the greenhouse with me, because our greenhouse at school it has a bunch of stuff in it, and we haven't used it in a while, and I think it would be beneficial to the students if we were to restore the greenhouse, because we used to use it for labs and obviously to grow things and all sorts of helpful things for students in the environment of Fort Myers High School. And it's not just the biology kids, which is what Trubkowski teaches, but it's also the environment kids. Even the chemistry kids can use that that part of the science building, because it's just a great place to work. And if it were restored, the environment of that the Peace Gardens area would look much nicer. So I planned this out with Mr. Trubkowski, and we figured out. First, it started out with just we were going to restore the greenhouse, and that was easy. Like, we were going to clear it out with the students. Like, it would either be before school or during class after they'd finished their work, or after school sort of activity. And so it would be basically working with the students one-on-one, or if we got more volunteers and people finished their work on time, then we'd have more than one-on-one, but mostly it was one-on-one. And we figured out the days, so we organized the days and times that we would meet to restore the greenhouse. And then Trent brought up the idea of making a garden, which is still underway. But so in making the garden, I've figured that there are multiple ways that we could do this. We could either do it in the Peace Gardens, or we could start our own new area in somewhere in the actual campus of Fort Myers. So if we were to make a garden on campus, it would most likely be close to the Peace Gardens. It's still in the vicinity of the E buildings, but more closer to the commons area when you come out of the doors, and on the side, passing by the administration. In that area, it's all clear and there's nothing there. So that would be a relatively good place to put a garden. And the garden would serve the purpose of obviously beautifying, which is the term that FSU used when they were beautifying their campus. They put sculptures up, and in our case, we'll be doing gardens, hopefully. And also, students will be able to we might put like a bench in there. Like, I've noticed that there are some students that like to sit over there, but they have to bring a blanket, and maybe we could put benches over there, and I think that would be really cool. I've drawn some sketches and thought this out, and there would also be plants that the students could harvest when they go over the ecology section, which is why the issue of the greenhouse was brought up in class in the first place, in Trepkowski's class, because they were going over ecology. And that idea just popped into my head. Commitment was definitely shown in this project because the students really did want to help, and obviously I did too. And we just met after school some days. Usually it was on Tuesdays. And there was a lot of effort shown in each of these sessions when we were clearing out the greenhouse and planning what we were going to do and talking about how we could beautify the campus. So I think it was, for the students, like working together with the students was very interesting. I don't know. They're younger than me, not that much younger, they're just a year younger than me, but hearing them discuss how we'd have academic discussions about ecology, and they'd ask me questions because as an HL Bio senior, I'm the last of Miss Connor's seniors, so they get all the information they can from me, and I find that sweet. So whenever they have a question, they come to me and ask me, and I give them all I have to offer, because what's the point of learning if you don't pass it on, really? I mean, in some way or another. I think that at first I was a little tentative about it because I didn't know whether I'd be up for working with some of the students in his class, because I've had prior conflicts with them, but for the most part, everything was very subdued. Everything was just, not subdued, but everybody was very agreeable. We all worked together really well, and it was surprising how quickly this project was underway. And I was just amazed at how we were able to work together like we did in this project. Some things I noticed were that the students were curious about the greenhouse. Actually, some of them had never even, like, some students don't even know what a greenhouse is, which is interesting because they're HL Bio juniors that are going to be seniors next year, hopefully, and they don't know what a greenhouse is. So sometimes I'd have to explain that to them, which was really humorous, but it was strange that I noticed that. And let's see, I perceived that there was a common misconception that by reinstating or revamping the greenhouse, that we'd be putting more greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. So that issue was addressed. Being involved in this activity made me feel really needed in the environment, and it made me realize how great it is to know that what I've learned in school is actually useful. I hate to say something like that, but I've never realized how much the knowledge that I've gained through school is would be useful so soon. I just didn't. It was just a shock that came to me. Being involved in this project just made me feel so much more important. Like, I have a new level of importance, and I feel that I am more respected by the students of Trepkowski's class, in that they commend me for my knowledge on all these biology areas. It was a good feeling. The activity itself was amazing. I'm really glad that I got into it and that Trep got into it. And I'm really glad that I got over most of what the initial qualms about it, maybe. Definitely, I don't usually work well together with others, which is unfortunate, but I'm definitely working on that, and I'm glad that I was able to do that because it was really needed in this project. I wouldn't have been able to do it alone. I'm so glad that there were others there helping me and talking to me and just spreading knowledge. It was just so great. The value of this activity is just so it's what is it? What value does it have? To me, it has great value. And I really hope that the other students that worked with me in this project, it had the same effect on them, that they thought that they valued this project as much as I did, because it was an amazing feeling just being able to, knowing that I was making such a big difference. I mean, I saw it. It's not usually, like, usually you'll feel like you're making a difference, but you're not sure. This, I saw it. I saw that I was making a difference. And not just the restoring of the greenhouse, but I saw that the students were learning, and they were learning from me, which is just great when you realize that you've taught someone something and they grasp the concept. It's a great feeling. So definitely I valued and gained a lot of value from this project. What I learned from this activity is that you shouldn't go into something thinking that you're not going to that you're not gonna be able to do it. Definitely not. I mean, as an athlete, that should be my initial thought on all things. Because if you go into a race thinking I'm not gonna win, you're not gonna win. But in this, it was more, I went into it thinking I'm not gonna get along with these students. They're not gonna like me. They're not gonna listen to me. They're not gonna respect me. They're not gonna understand what the actual purpose of this is, which is to not just restore the greenhouse, but to ask me questions, and at the risk of sounding like the Little Mermaid, getting some answers. But seriously, I went into it thinking that they wouldn't ask me any questions, they wouldn't realize the importance of doing something like this in your community and how greatly it could affect them for the better. And extrapolating what I learned from this, obviously I've already mentioned it applies to sports, and sports are a large part of my life. And excuse me, also I'm going to be a neurosurgeon when I finish my college experience, and I'll definitely apply the fact that you can't go into anything thinking that you're not going to succeed or things won't turn out the way they are going to turn out. Because if you go into surgery thinking that, your patient's going to be really scared. Or if you go into research thinking like that, like, I want to cure Alzheimer's or figure out a non-medicative way to treat ADHD aside from therapy. And if I go into research thinking, man, people aren't going to understand what I'm trying to do here, or I'm never going to find anything, that's not going to be effective in any way. And I think that's definitely going to stick with me more than it has before. Now that I'm saying it out loud and realizing that flaw was encountered in my project. New skills I developed: talking in front of large groups, not crowds, I'd say groups, imparting knowledge. That doesn't sound like a skill, but it's definitely a skill. I'm not able to honestly always explain something in the best way. It'll make sense to me, but not always sense to others. But definitely I learned how to make sense to others when trying to discuss an issue or topic. This project was obviously planned and initiated by myself, and it was helped along by Trepkowski and his students, whom I am so grateful for. And we obviously all worked collaboratively. We were engaged with the issues of global importance, such as the greenhouse gases, the greenhouse effect, global warming. Also, in that we discussed those issues, and I was able to shed light on those areas. So now those students can go out into the world understanding the issues of global importance that they should be understanding at a junior level in high school. And all throughout the project, perseverance and commitment was shown greatly by myself, and the other people working with me. It was a great experience, and I can't wait to continue as I finish up my senior year. And that is the end of my reflection statement for restoring the greenhouse at Fort Myers High School.